Good morning, everyone. We want to welcome you to our program at the Hampton Allen Library today. This is a remote program we'll be having, and we're in the beautiful home of Leslye and Mario O'Neill. And it's just such a pleasure, and we're so grateful that they agreed to let us come in. And what we'd like to do is to maybe just start off kind of talking about, now Leslye is from Boston, Mario was from California, lived in California for 30-something years. And
originally we both grew up in Boston.
Okay. So, they have a really unique and beautiful love story, I think, because they met in grade school, and then got reacquainted later on in life, and
a couple of times. Yes.
I'll let you share some of that.
Okay. Well, we met in grade school in the fifth grade, and then we did not see each other again until we were teenagers, and we were in the same circle of friends, and then he went his way and I went mine. We both got married to other people and lived our lives. And one day during the Christmas holiday, I was on Facebook and his name popped up. And I clicked on his name and I said, "Hi, remember me?" And he said, "Yes, and you're the little girl with the pretty smile," and that's who he remembered. And my mother, who kept everything, had my class picture from the fifth grade, and he was at the top of the row and I was in the bottom row, and I sent the picture and I said, "Is this you?" He says, "Yes, that's me, and that's you in the front row with the pretty smile." And a conversation, and he still has it. And a conversation started, and he was in San Diego, I was in Boston, Massachusetts, and we talked every day online. We videoed every day for several hours throughout the day and night, and to the point where folks would knock at my door and say, "Okay, get off the phone." Get off the phone. But we did that every day for months, from December until he arrived in Boston on March 8th. I picked him up at Boston Logan Airport, and we have not been apart since. And we got married last May here at this property. And it was just beautiful because friends and family flew in from everywhere. And we have a gazebo out there that Mario put up. And the wedding, family members were involved, and all my great-grandchildren all were in the wedding march and whatnot, and it was fabulous. It was fabulous. It was fabulous.
Very special. So, and moving on to the dolls, the brick dolls. Now, where did this idea originate to begin doing those?
It originated with me because of the fact that my younger sister has lupus. She was diagnosed with lupus, and my sister had locks. She had beautiful locks, and her hair started to break off because of the disease and because of the treatment, and she ended up shaving her head, and it was pretty devastating. And I said to her, "Do not throw that hair away." And I was in Maryland and staying with her for a few days, and I collected that hair and hung on to it. I meant to bring it out before you got here, but I saved the hair, and I said, "I'm going to make a doll." and I'm gonna put that hair on the doll. And that was the first doll I made, and that's how the doll stuff got started.
Wow, isn't that something? And so how many, now this is
This
is
was our
Mario-
wedding couple.
This is Mario and Leslye right here, and this was
And the
your
woman-
creation.
The woman that made my wedding outfit made a replica for the doll. And I ordered a little gray suit for Mario's doll, little 2 toddlers. And
Oh.
they were out on the gift table.
Right.
They were out there on a stand, and that's what those came from. But
That's pretty awesome. And now, Carolina, if you could get a shot of these over here. Now, the idea for those
I'm
originated.
gonna grab this.
Okay. Okay.
Attempt.
This is your first one.
But
okay?
this is my sister's actual hair,
All right.
and
Well-
so I just
You.
it's evolved. It has really evolved, and
Leslye, you wanna-
and I'm in the process of making a doll now.
So kind of tell us the steps that you go through in terms
Well-
of putting it together.
First, Mario is actually quite involved because you can see that they have a wire frame, and Mario puts the frame together, and I cut out a body and I stuff it, and I make the hands. Where are the hands I was just working on? Here we go. For this doll, which I just finished giving some fingernail
Nails.
polish,
It's very important.
and then
Those little touches.
and I'll attach it. Mario will cut off the excess, but I'll attach the hands and sew up. Once I get it all stuffed as much as I want to get it stuffed, because it was important to me in making the dolls that I make. The other thing that came to mind was when I was a kid. When I was growing up, there may have been black dolls, but I never saw any.
Right.
I never saw dolls that looked like me.
Right.
And so I said, I'm going to make dolls that look like me and the people I know, that have full lips and wide noses and kinky hair. And some of them have kinky hair, and some of them have, more relaxed curls and so forth. But they're dolls that represent me and the people that I grew up around.
Right.
And so Mario makes the frames, and the faces are, the head is actually the most interesting part to me, because you start with this blank, flat thing, and I pinch and to get the nose, and I sew from the back of the head and get the nostrils and make the lips, and she's got a little nose stud like I do. The eyes I make from hot glue. I have these little silicone trays to make the shape of the eye, and I can paint the eye any color that I want. So it's actually an eyeball, and I cut the socket and stick it in there, and she's got, which that one's coming off though. I've got to glue it down. Her eyelashes.
That's right. A
And,
lot of women these days have fake eyelashes. So that's
And-
okay.
That's okay.
And and so I buy hair from the hair store and sew it to the head and stuff the body and stuff the hands, and the hands can be problematic sometimes
I'm sure
because
they
you're
can.
working. I make these hands and then I've got to flip the fabric inside out and pull this little skinny piece up, until the finger is, out to where it needs to be. But it's stuffing and pipe cleaner and metal. And
Well, you spend a lot of time doing this. How long does it take you to make one?
I can probably make a doll in about 5 or 6 days if I work
Continuously.
yeah. And the thing is, it's like when I start, it's almost like I can't help myself. I get started and it's like, okay, what's the next thing I do? Like today, I got the head all done. I can't stuff the body because I ran out of stuffing.
Right.
And I'm sitting here going stir crazy because it's like I can't.
So when
work
you
on my
started
doll.
on them, Leslye, were they this size or are they growing?
They were almost this size,
Okay.
but they are, but they're growing a little bit.
Okay.
They're growing a little bit, and it's getting to where I get the clothing. Some of it I've made, but most of it I said, why are you killing yourself? Go to the thrift store and get some kids' clothes.
Yeah,
And so when we went in the thrift store last week and I saw those shoes, I couldn't help myself. I said,
Right.
oh man.
they are neat. They are neat. They sure are. Awesome. Well, I think
So,
it's
when you
such a
started-
unique-
Did you just kind of have to go with it as you like in the moment, or did you take a class, or like how did you?
I went online. I went on YouTube and watched other people making dolls, but there were no black people. There were no black doll makers, and there were no black dolls. And
Right.
so I said, yeah, well, time to do something about that.
There you go.
And because there wasn't anything there that represented me, and so that's what I did. I watched and I practiced. I started with, I don't know, I started, some of the things that I started with I laugh because I still got them back there,
Yeah.
but they're like little, like this, and they look like little creatures, like.
Right.
But I had to learn that process
To develop it. Absolutely.
watching how people made dolls using fabric and needles and pulling the stuffing forward, and it just evolved like that.
Well, I think it's awesome.
It is awesome.
But it's fun. It's fun and
Well,
it's therapeutic.
Leslye, do you hope to market them, or is it just more of a therapy
It's
thing.
a
and a
hobby.
family type thing?
It's a hobby, and
Do you share them with
occasionally, because I put them on Facebook,
Okay.
and I get lots of comments.
I'm sure.
And actually, they're in the
Drake Gallery.
Drake Gallery, and the newspaper clipping. Somebody in Boston saw that because I posted it
Right.
online, and somebody saw that particular doll and said, I want that one.
Wonderful.
And So
That's how creations are born, you know. And
but they could not. I could never
market.
mass produce.
Right.
And you know they're all different. No two of them are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I use the same
Materials.
process, none of them are ever the same. And the funny thing is, every time I would send pictures, my sister, my younger sister especially, she's like, "Oh, that looks like Aunt Gladys. Oh, that looks like Aunt Corinne. Oh, that looks like," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So I don't know if kind of
Right.
the stuff is just there and it's just kind of coming out.
Right. Absolutely.
But and children's responses to them have varied. My grandchildren have come here, great-grandchildren have come here, and they've looked at them and they've gone, is it gonna get me?
That was Minnie.
Yeah.
She wouldn't go near that closet.
Emilia in particular would not go near that back closet. I had to put them all away and not bring them out. You know, and so, and actually, we had them in my bedroom. They were sitting on the window seat, all of them. I had all of them there together. And she was coming in and she's like, "I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to be afraid." And then she'd be like, "Oh." Yeah.
Isn't that something? Oh,
But,
Is it difficult when you have either sold them or given them away? Is it difficult to say goodbye to them?
yes. And it's like, oh man, it's like, oh, I've put so much into it, and they all have a personality, their own personality. And
Tell them about the descriptions that you had when you had them at the Ansonia.
when they were at the art
Drake Gallery.
the Drake Gallery. I did cards and printed them up, and each doll had a description.
And a little history.
They had their own little story. I have one guy, Dexter, who's got locks, and Dexter is a chef in a restaurant in Boston, and blah blah blah. Somebody else is a nurse. Somebody else is a banker or a lawyer. They all have some profession, and that was important to me, and particularly for my grandkids, my great-grandkids, because this is something that, you know, you understand that people grow up and they have professions, you know, and this is something that you can work toward. Yeah, this is a doll, but, you know, it's not, you know,
Just
stick thin
Right.
Barbie, you know, just pretty cute. These are like working class people, and they were like the people that I saw around me
Yes.
growing up.
It's a message. That's good.
So,
Very good. Very
yeah.
good. That is so awesome, Leslye. Thank you for sharing that with us. And we're going to turn to Mario just a moment here, and he is a man of many talents as well. Mario, do you want to share some of the woodwork stuff you've done?
Sure. There's
Actually,
actually
right
quite
here.
a bit. Well, yeah, I guess
Oh yes.
This
Yeah.
table.
Yes.
I made this table. This is one of the first ones I made.
Oh wow.
I bought some flooring from the Restore, some oak flooring, and wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but I knew I was going to do something. But I knew we didn't have a table for in here. This was actually the second table I made, but it's virtually bulletproof. It's about 1.5 inches thick, So you could fall on it, the kids can sleep on it. It's
And
really
it
good.
won't move.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
And it's all oak. That's all white oak. That's red oak, I'm sorry. It's red oak.
Yeah, Mario makes good use of the basement, don't you? You have
Yes,
a
I
work
do.
area down
Yeah.
there. So,
That table actually also,
okay.
the one holding the speaker, the sound bar,
Oh,
that's marble and copper.
Oh, okay.
I made that.
This is very unique.
that's
Caroline,
unique.
be sure you get a good picture of that.
I needed something to put up under the TV that we didn't have at the time.
Such a very creative piece, I tell you what. It's all right.
So how do you come up with the designs?
I sit in the garage and
Form follows
just,
function.
and I need something to put up in this spot.
Yeah.
And I wanted something, I didn't want anything heavy or anything, because there's a lot of wood in here, I needed something a little bit different.
Right.
So I just bought some copper pipe, a couple of pieces of marble.
Very, very creative, very
It is
creative. And do we want to walk out here on the?
Sure. So I have a serious fondness for live edge wood. So I would buy different pieces from the marketplace in Albemarle. And I bought this one first before I bought the others. I bought this and made this piece. And I bought another piece and I made these two end tables with that piece. And this is the last thing that I made.
Oh wow.
This is a cedar throne.
Okay.
Beautiful.
That's neat.
And being retired, it's sort of easy to do, you know.
That I think one of my favorite pieces is out here on
deck.
the deck. Well, two. One is the hammock.
Oh
Is
wow.
your design there?
Yes.
Yes,
Is it, Mario?
that he made.
That is very special.
It really is.
Very special. Man.
I bet you don't have to worry about it going anywhere.
Nope. Nope.
So you came up with that design
Yeah.
yourself. Isn't that's neat. Very neat.
And then he made this bar out of a bike.
Oh wow.
Oh gosh. Isn't that wonderful? That is wonderful.
And that was just a great piece that came in so handy for our wedding. Yeah. Yeah. And then he made these birdhouses also.
So now, again, I'm gonna ask the same question I asked you. Did you take classes, or is this all just you
No.
figuring things out
No,
on
I
your own?
just, like to make stuff. And so when the idea hits me, I just think about it until it comes clear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that is wonderful. And this one is made, what is that?
Those are actually shingles.
Oh,
Okay, all
Those are
right.
shingles.
How about that?
and do you sell your?
I haven't really tried to. I just wanted to first populate this house with what we need and want.
Right.
And then maybe at some other time I'll think about doing it for sale with the intention of sale. I
Right.
haven't done that yet. I made that table behind you with that big chunk of
Chunk
wood.
of wood.
You are just very creative, I tell you what. You are. That's
Well, you-
great.
You're both artists. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
That's the gazebo down there that Mario put up. We found it at a secondhand shop. It's still in the box
We actually got that from
from Steve.
Steve Northcott when he was down next to
Beautiful.
the ministry.
But Mario he made those benches. He constructed that whole setup down there.
Oh, my goodness. That's wonderful.
That's a whole
Gorgeous.
lot of rock that's in there too.
Yes, and that's
Yeah, it took me about 4
It
days
was-
to
it
shovel
was
all
about-
that in there.
I don't know how many truckloads. It was
It
like
was
3
2
or 4.
truckloads. Yeah.
Oh, was it? And they dumped them all there, and Mario's out there shoveling away. And I said, honey, can I bring you some water?
That was about it.
Leslye.
Down there is the garden bed, that raised garden bed that he constructed for me.
Oh wow.
Henry said Maria's always doing something really
There
special.
were, those bricks were under the house, and so he made kind of a, the little foundation for it, and then put that up, and used some legs from an old table that we got from the secondhand store as the legs to hold the bed up.
Yes, that's great. That is great.
Really good deals also.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's
A lot of
we
stuff
live
we
in
got
the thrift store. We live in the thrift store.
Excuse me.
from Steve's
Yes,
and from Brenda's.
It is
Yep.
amazing
And
the
the
things
Restore.
you can find,
Yeah.
and the things you can make and create from those. Well, it's been such a pleasure visiting with you all today. Thank you for sharing all this creativity and beautiful
thank
talent
you.
that you have, giftings, and we hope that you guys have enjoyed it. And we look forward to next time. Thank you.
Thank you.